Good afternoon. A day for the punters and dribblers today. Investors and traders, welcome all to another podcast from Traders Community. Fed day with a massive relief rally, which often happens when there's so much bearishness and pent-up angst about everything. And we had that shocking report from LYFT yesterday, one of the iconic dribbler stocks that just got taken out the back of the woodshed. Ended up going right to around $20 where all the IO was we spoke of yesterday, and then it rallied a couple of bucks off that, but pretty well that was it. So we got the glorious Madavi here, who's had a busy session. Met a Johnny. And yeah, quite the day. We're going to go through it. So basically, before we get into it, just a reminder, this is not a financial advice, political advice, health advice, any sort of advice. Just we are giving insight on what we saw, what we did, and how the pro side of the market is behaving, and then we tend to dribble on a little bit. So there we have it. So let's get into it without further ado. So right now, massive rally on oil, got over 108.5 today. It's still up there at 107. The real big move in energy was Natgas, got almost to 850. It's 837 right now. Henry Hub, S&P monster rally, one of the bigger ones we've seen. Over 130 handles top to bottom. 42.92 right now. Cash got over 4,300. The little dribbler itself is 1943. Nasdaq, massive rally there too of about 700 handles, 13,531. And Vol was, like we said, always watch that stuff, right? So that came slicing down to get as low as 25,600 in the Vol X, and obviously lower than that on the VIX. So let's go through SPOOs. This was a real technical day and one you really love if you're a futures trader. So we'll look at the 60 and work backwards. This was a classic buy this morning. Got to minus 4.8 on the 60. It was minus 2.8 on the 5. So it was actually a pretty good trading as far as that goes. Before the number, after the number, there was a good sell, and it was a little bit hectic here. Fills coming all over the place. So it was actually one of those great trading days, actually. And then we just exploded up here. So basically, there was obviously the move overnight, the angst, oil through the roof. That was to do with EIA had a big draw last night, and then Europe not going to be buying Russian oil, etc. And you know, basically that's what's going on there. Anyway, we bounce off those lows. We then come into everything was expected as far as the Fed goes. So it was a relief rally, if anything. He raised 0.5%. It's all on the deal. They're going to start their assets stuff at the start of next month, and then we had the meeting, and this is where it started. For some reason, and we weren't people saying it, but there's a belief that they're going to do a 3 quarters. The only person I know is Bullard, but they span it that people were thinking, and the dribblers being the dribblers and the sheeple and all that, jumped on that as if it was going to happen, and it's not going to happen. He made it pretty clear it wasn't anyway. So that was this big jump. But as again, in this sort of market, you got to be total. You leave your opinions at the door. You trade off the system. And so it's just a beautiful move there. So that's the S&P. Now, here's where it really got aggressive. Well, we got aggressive. Was when it went over the daily here at 42.29. That's where it added, and look at that. That was another 70 handles, right? So just clinical shit. Keep it like that. No opinion. Remember, look what it held here. Here's another, while I say that, often these moves on the Fed get faded the next day, right? So just think what this was. This is a relief, but as I blow it up, you can see what it was. Failed double bottom the other day. We couldn't get more work. So remember, any puts we bought, we did them as spreads, right? And that's the reason, because you're buying them in the off chance it's all going to go to hell in a handbasket, but you know that vol's high, so you got to sell against it. So anyway, you got a monster rally out of that. If you look at weekly, remember we had that perfect double bottom, and then with the daily, you can see it's working up. That gives you that target up here, right? So that's a few more handles up there, should it get there. And often these markets tend to overshoot. Greed kicks in, hopium, all that good stuff. So just keep it disciplined. As far as the Dow goes, remember we're banging this little megaphone here. That's at one angle some people are talking about. And really it should be widened down here. Okay, and that's the bottom of the cloud. Okay, so let's bring on Madavi for the Nasdaq. Nasdaq did pretty much exactly the same thing. Here's the daily, minus 3.8 spat last week. We had that big move today. Remember, the Nasdaq was the one really getting pounded because of stuff like Snap was way down, but mainly, so who was it other than LYFT? AMD, right? And there's a few others here. So let's look at the 60-minute. You can see it more clearer. So we had the false breakdown the other day, and this is today. So do you want to walk us through that, Madavi?
Yeah, I mean, it was choppy in the morning, you know. Then after the Fed comes out, like I said it a couple times, if you look at the past history when the Fed raises, the first 2 or 3 times after he raises, we got in rallies. I knew that, you know, and I didn't know if it was going to hold true this time, which it did. Which when it comes to the futures, I'm taking a different approach on it than try to trade it through this choppiness. It hurts on days like this, but I look at this as like a stock that just dropped 500 points for me, or a huge drop. I just get better pricing, so I short more. You know.
Well, to be honest, though, you did do that, but you did also cover yourself by playing the spoos, and you took that big profit on LYFT, which we'll talk about in a minute, how you handled that, and you also traded what was that truck? I want to. Geez, I can never remember. It's Sown or something. So so it's not as if you just blindly left it unattended.
I'm just talking. I did do some S&P trades, you know, but mostly because by me doing the S&P trades, actually hedging it, I get more buying power. So because it's a kind of like a hedge comes out. So, and I get to use that and turn around and do more stocks. You know, I did a bunch of options in the VIX because I still have them. You know, paid like I don't know, like $1. They're worth like 25 cents now. I got a little bit of it, but it's okay. It was I was a little bit too bearish on that, and it looked good at the time of doing it, but it changed real fast. That shit melted away.
Well, yeah, it all came with. Remember, at the end of the day, we all knew what it was. Well, there was some people talking 75. That's bullcrap because it was at 98% anyway. The Fed Funds Index, which is the punters thing. But it all changed in the conference call, and they were pushing him, and he said, "Look, I didn't say 75 basis points or words to that effect." So that's what got this pump. Market was short.
For me, I said there's rumors he's talking about 75%, and
yeah, it's all bullshit. Like Powell himself said, it's bullshit. Hey, it's put out by people like CNBC.
I'm just saying what were out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyone who believed it, they deserve to get caught short here and get their face ripped off, in my opinion.
I said there was a rumor out. Mate said, no, it's not. I'm like,
yeah, but it was only on CNBC, and it's that one guy. What is it? So Bullard's the only guy that's ever mentioned it, and it's that one guy, Leisman or something, because he tries to. I guess it's like clickbait, right? So again, the only people reporting that there was a rumor was CNBC. No desk thought that way. So yeah, and I was pretty accurate.
Yeah, you're accurate, but it didn't move the markets, and I did get off.
Right. Well, so I actually don't think that's the reason it went up. That's the reason, because I think very simply, he was very measured the way he spoke very well. He was very clear on why they're doing it, how they're doing it, and remember again, it's supply-based inflation. In other words, something he can't affect. He can't affect what's going on in Russia and Ukraine and what Biden's responding. I mean, that's the whole thing. What can he do? He's not the bloke, as you said yesterday over there. He's not Putin attacking people. He's not America selling weapons. And all this stuff going on. That's Jay Powell's very separate from
Are they selling weapons? Well, the end buyers are the United States, right? So,
you know what I mean. So it's the same seller and buyer. But the point is, all these things are outside his control. But they've got to try and blame him for everything, So which is an interesting game. And so what happens is, and that's why just keep it simple. We use the grid. We watch VIX. You see the market. You see the fear and greed, and lo and behold. And there were some massive moves both ways today, like down hard, up. And it was hard to hold. You remember I got long a bunch of that snaps, and I was like, And then you get shaken out of it because, unless you're a total punter, of course. This is pre the thing. And so after that, a lot of this stuff lifted really nicely. So that's why I watch Apple like a hawk. I know the best traders are on there, as we've said many times, at the biggest shops. You see the order flow, and it trades very well technically. But yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I seen all that stuff going up, I figured it was sell off at the end. I put on a good position and took a nap. I was tired. I was up early.
Yeah. So that's your NAS. Let's go to energy. We looked at SPOOs. So oil, as we mentioned earlier, we saw this was all expected, by the way. They're having the meeting today. So again, the media is just shocking. It seems everyone in the oil market set for this. And then the dribblers come along, which explains some of the stock action, actually. But we knew that, so we had the EIA number last night. It was a bigger draw. The API number. We had the EIA number today, which was a build. But what happened in between was the news that we already knew that was coming out of Europe, right? So anyway, here we are, top of the channel. You can see the double top here. So the point I guess I'm trying to make is that they really have no idea, and they're full of it on people like CNBC and affect the market. So we've already talked about the dribblers on FinTwit and stuff, but they're no better on that. So anyway, here's your weekly. You can see it's just jammed between these levels, right? And on the daily, we just looked at. Sorry, I was trying to go to the. I wanted to show you the Brent 4-hour because it was out of England, and you can see the move come there. So what they do very, very well, the VTOLs and of that nature, is they know what's going on, right? I mean, a lot of the good traders, and you should know if you're watching us. So it engineers down through panic, through margins or whatever, and then it just works its way up. So that's Brent, which is going to be more hands-on to that European effect. Okay, natty gas. As we've said, that's been very clinical. You can see on the week it's just been up since it's tanking, just these nice power waves. And because most people, you got a ton of punters in this commodity. Let me tell you, at some of the shops, I've never seen a market where big guys are blowing up and getting another job. We're talking hundreds of millions, if not billions, some blokes. I could tell you some stories. Probably get myself shot, though. So you can see this smelting up, but it means a lot of these moves happen, same as oil, because people aren't putting on the same size. So therefore it's more chase. And then you can see on the daily, these are just really, really good moves. So there's a couple of ways to play this. As we've said, you've got the double and triple ETFs, boil and cold, the two ways. There's UNG and stuff like that. But so what tends to happen, it gets overextended. There's also stocks that are in this space that we've talked about quite a few times. What else we got going on? So we should look at how the dollar reacted to today, and bonds. Obviously, we'll do that real quick. So that's the Chinese currency just getting wrecked, as you all know. So let's look at the dollar yen. Let's go 15 minutes. So remember, today's all about interest rates, and we were over 3% on the 10 again today. And so currencies see this all stuff ahead. And you'll notice, so this is dollar yen. See how this reacted so much earlier than the stocks and bonds? See that, Madavi? So this already told you up here, and then 20, 30 minutes later, they're doing it on the stocks. So if you know these markets, how they trade, to get a massive heads up. And you can see the pennant down here. So 8/8 didn't quite get done, but you can see the failed. So this is after it. In other words, again, it's built in. And so the machines and do it. So that's probably all we need to see on that one. Where did I put the... we should have the stocks here. So here's Apple. I wanted to show you. You know what? I had to reboot to clear that out. So we won't look at that. But for some reason, stocks do that. So we can look at that another time. But we all know what's going on there. 159 held. 60, you can see the options. And then up to 165. Where did I put? What else do you want to look at, Madavi? And Johnny, does Johnny want to talk about crypto or not? So here's our bonds.
I'm playing Etsy right now, and I'm still long the sounds. And
sounds, that's the one I was trying to think of. So you can see what's happened here today.
It looks like it might be running.
So yeah, we'll be pretty quick here, punters. We got a little bit of trading to do, but so this is today. You can see, remember, so the bonds rallied. What does that mean? It means lower rates, right? So higher, lower. So it's already built in. The bond market's selling it. I just showed you dollar yen. That's the sort of thing you want to look at. So that's March, that's June. There you go.
I bought HYMC.
That's a blast from the past. That's the grade out. Yeah, I will. Let me just finish up here, guys. We're gonna love you and leave you. So I'm gonna leave you. We're actually pretty busy, lots of stuff on. We just want to share. Thanks for all those new subscribers in the last few days. So I guess we're doing something right, mate. Hopefully a lot of you got on those couple of today's market using the NovaWave stuff. Remember Sierra charts. Give them a try. The free trial stuff. I just think it's the best value out there. So it's got everything. It's cheap. And this is, we don't get paid anything by them. I'm just telling you as a great system out there. So you're not just relying on what your broker's giving you, and you're not overpaying on some of the more expensive ones, because this actually has it all. There was something else we want to look at. I can't really remember. So we're going to do that. I know it's the 4th today, hence that relief rally. I can't say I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I know a lot of you guys are, and a punter and dribbler.
Yeah, that looks like, does it? It looks like Powell, kind of. Just a little bit.
Well, it kind of looks like a lot of the leaders, actually. They're all pushing, the different presidents, and the political party in the US is very, very old, of all persuasions, right? Powell
like that.
Powell is probably starting to look like this after the year he's been stuffed with, right?
Oh.
So
he's had Donnie, he's had the fucking Bidens.
Oh, mate. But it's all his fault, don't forget. Anyway, guys, Remember, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, share it if you like it. If you got any questions or anything, and if you like or need any more explanation or anything, don't be shy. Hit us up. And that's what we're here for. It's just really to help people, right? So thanks for joining. So tomorrow we do have the Natgas numbers. We'll see how the markets devolves or go through all this. Remember, we raise rates. We have high inflation and all that. So it's a question how much unraveling a lot of these things happen. Remember, Thursday is always the jobs number. So that comes out. Let me just see quickly if there's something we missed in that little thing. It's pretty...
Yeah. It's here to teach people. I'm here to make sure the liquidity doesn't go away so I can have someone sell my stock.
So after hours hasn't been up. Let me see. Where the heck is it? I'm looking for my bond market report. If I didn't, so you can see right across yields are all off. The only one that are unchanged on my dove is the 30-year. That's at 3. Everything else is unchanged. Yeah, the 2-year down 15 basis points, 261. So that was, the bonds were strong. So they rallied across the board. And so, interesting, right? Just shows it was built in. I showed you that dollar yen chart and that. Okay, so tomorrow we do have the initial claims are looking for 184. It was 180 last time. We got the Q1 productivity, unit labor costs, good inflation number. That's going to be interesting. And as I said, the EIA. So there you have it. Everyone have a great evening. Rest up if you are hardcore trading. Keep that eyes up trading because you saw today how quickly it all changes. Like in a heartbeat. And a Powell heartbeat at that. Okay, remember, what's that saying? Everything can go wrong. It's just a heartbeat away.